We've already we've discussed to an extent sort of what some of the fundamentals or ideal components of a resilient and surge capable manufacturing environment look like, and we can talk more about that as we run through some of these issues. We've also talked a bit about the cost challenges that stand in the way of making this vision a reality and who's responsible for those. Let me start there. Zoltán or Kayla, I'll just throw it out to either one of you want to jump in. Any other thoughts, beyond what we've already discussed around how the cost challenges of creating a surge-ready manufacturing environment might be addressed? Or do you think we've covered like the possibilities there, as far as internal acceptance and embrace of the cost and expectations around federal assistance?
I think another option would be to find some commercially viable business models, right? That can be used to make these products and this capacity available in non-pandemic times, right? And yeah, it's probably not easy because someone will take a hit on it basically, right? But right now when there's no product, for example, right? Yeah. But it could be also an investment. It could be used for example, making other vaccines like influenza vaccines, which are seasonal and produced every year, right? And there are some obvious similar vaccines that are routinely used for children, for example, right, and infants or babies.
Yeah.
But yeah, the combination of that and probably government funding or partnerships between governments and companies could. It's not an easy one, but yeah. But in a way, it should be also like an investment, as I mentioned, and almost like an insurance for future preparedness, right?
Yeah. Do you see, you talk about the work that's being done in mRNA, and this is a general question I'm interested in both your perspectives on. Do you see like the further development of mRNA and its potential to impact vaccine and other therapeutic paradigms? Do you see that as core to solving this problem and core to maximizing the use of capacity in terms of our mRNA therapeutic manufacturing?
Yeah. So from my point of view, that's really crucial, and we call this a platform technology for that reason.
Yeah.
Which means that you can use the same process and the same, same facilities, same people, same staff, same QC. So everything can stay the same except the template DNA to make different products, right? And those can include vaccines and therapeutics, right?
Right.
So that's probably one of the key, I guess,
enablers. Like the pivot. Yes. The pivot is easier. The pivot is easier if we're moving from mRNA to mRNA.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Is that fair? Yeah.
That's the idea, that this should be a platform technology which should then be capable of making multiple products with largely the same infrastructure without much change, or ideally without any change besides changing the template. And but that's why I see
think the response is quicker too, right? Like that's why we were able to get a novel vaccine so quickly with RNA technology, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, I want to jump back to capacity because we have some audience questions coming in related to that. I wanted to dig in on the capacity challenges that stand in the way, but there's a more I guess detailed question from George. He's asking, isn't the best surge capacity in the CDMO manufacturing sector? Remember, what will be surged will likely be a new product, e.g. new spike variant, for example. So curious about that, curious about your perspectives on the capacity of the CDMO, we'll call it CMO, CDMO space to meet potential surge demand. Kayla, since you're on my screen, I'll start with you.
Yeah, sure. I would say the capacity of CDMO definitely goes into the decision, but you can also use multiple CDMOs or multiple rooms within, like to be able to scale up. So you could go from all over the place, right? With like Lonza has multiple sites, or other CDMOs, for example. And those allow you to put, one train at each spot if you wanted to make more product too. It doesn't have to be one site and how much they can make. It could be multiple sites across a lot.
Yeah. Do you think though, like I want to expand, like expand the question even broader that, and think in the context of biopharma industry wide globally. Do you think in the event that we face another imminent pandemic challenge where we need billions upon billions of doses, that the current like global outsource capacity is anywhere near capable to contribute meaningfully to the demand?
I think it is. I think it also, one potential thing is, for a pandemic is you might have to step down your clinical process to meet the demand of the pandemic, right? So pausing one thing in phase 1 or really early product development to then kind of increase it to what you need to meet today. And that's kind of part of the risk assessment or review that goes into it. But I do think how much we were able to do before, and I feel like a lot of pharmaceutical CMOs are still growing, right? We're still increasing there, that we have more capacity later on.
Yeah. Zoltán, I'd like you to weigh in on your perspectives on the outsourcing community's capacity or ability to contribute to surge.
Yeah, so the CMOs and CDMOs, I think their capacity is very valuable for surge manufacturing, but their capacity is utilized in non-pandemic times or non-outbreak times already, right? So if you then switch their facilities to making pandemic response products, then you disrupt their other activities, what they were normally making, right? So I guess that can work if there's stockpiles of their products in place, right? So if they're making some products on contracts, right? If they have enough of those stockpiled, that they can pause those products for a while to make pandemic response vaccines, for example. Yeah. That way it could work, but otherwise it can be disruptive, right? And they don't have probably just excess capacity because it's just not viable commercially to maintain it, right? They would have to redistribute capacity basically rather than create new capacity in most cases. They can also expand, but that would take time. You have to build facilities and build.
And they already are. I mean, you say that they could also expand, but that would take time. Like, I marvel at the volume of press releases that come across my desk about outsourced capacity expansion. Like it can't possibly be big enough. You know what I mean? Like it's incredible the amount of money being spent on outsourced capacity expansion as we sit today, much less, in a time of demand.